Now the latest from ITV News Anglia with Becky Jago and David Whiteley.
Good evening. Welcome to ITV News Anglia.
Here are tonight's main stories for you.
As a shoplifting epidemic plagues our high streets and supermarkets, we talk to the police chief determined not to turn a blind eye.
This crime is meaning that you and I are paying more for our food and drink every week.
6 become 5, but who is still in the running to become the next Conservative Party leader?
Keeping mum about male postnatal depression, calls for better mental health support for new dads.
I did keep him a little bit at arm's length because I was scared that something horrible would happen to him.
And I'm at a quarry in Bedfordshire checking out the vehicles created in Stevenage, which could be going on some very long journeys.
Hello from David and from me. Welcome to the programme.
First tonight, the crime that's leaving us all out of pocket.
Between March 2023 and March this year, there were nearly 40,000 shoplifting offences recorded in the east of England. That's up 22% on the year before. Cambridgeshire saw a 30% increase, while in Hertfordshire and Northamptonshire it was up 25%.
Well, police say it means we are all paying more for our food and drink as a result of the gangs targeting stores. But with only around a third of the criminals ever charged, what can be done to combat it? Well, Andy Ward has been finding out.
It's been described as the epidemic that's rocking the world of resale. Stores like this one in Kings Lynn targeted by shameless shoplifters. It's why police in Norfolk say enough is enough. More people are charged with shoplifting here than any other county, with the force charging people in more than 31% of cases.
This crime is meaning that you and I are paying more for our food and drink every week, so it's important that there's a robust policing response.
You're charging around a third of shoplifters, aren't you? But the simple maths means you're not charging 2/3, so that's still not great, is it?
No, we're doing very well. We are charging a third, but on top of that, there are other means of prosecuting individuals, whether it be through cautions, whether it be through summonses. In total, 46% of the people who commit shoplifting in this county get caught for it. That's the highest in the country. And I think if you're going out and committing crime and there's a near 50% chance you're going to get caught, I think that that's a good deterrent.
Well, Lee, this is the alcohol aisle, of course. Is this the sort of item that people are targeting?
Yeah, alcohol's very desirable.
But despite that deterrent, this is a battle that's still very much ongoing. At the East of England Co-op, security measures have been stepped up in a bid to protect staff, with workers now equipped with body cameras and given access to panic alarms.
And this is a crime that's on the rise. In Cambridgeshire, there were more than 6,000 shoplifting offences recorded by police last year. Well, in Bedfordshire, it was just over 4,000. And that is a significant increase in both of those counties.
An increase that bosses here say won't be tolerated.
We have got a dedicated security service within the department that will come out and we will identify you with the police and we will seek the punishment that fits the crime. So this year so far we've already got over 500 weeks of custodial sentences in Norfolk. So we're working really closely with Norfolk Police now and their business crime team to really push that forward.
A stance which could soon be reflected elsewhere. The government is promising a stronger police response, even to so-called low-value thefts of under £200. A clear message to offenders that if you're thinking of committing this callous crime, you better be prepared for the consequences. Andy Ward's ITV News.
Some more of your day's news now, and a coroner has issued a warning after a 47-year-old mother died after receiving too much anaesthetic during an operation at a private hospital in Cambridge. Dr Rachel Gibson had hip replacement surgery at the Spire Lee Hospital in April 2022. The coroner said she suffered a cardiac arrest after being given an anaesthetic in excess of the recommended dose. She died 3 months later. The coroner has written to the Royal College of Anaesthetists.
An inquest into the death of a man who fell from a hotel window in Northamptonshire has been opened and adjourned until next year. 33-year-old Oliver Marmon was the fiancé of Union J singer Jamie Hensley. He died following a fall at the Hind Hotel in Wellingborough last month. The coroner said the provisional cause of death is head injuries.
A Northamptonshire family has been paid nearly £13,000 after a child with special educational needs missed more than 3 years of education. It's after an investigation by the local government and social care ombudsman. North Northamptonshire Council says it wholly accepts the report and has apologised.
Members of an organised crime gang based near Kings Lynn have been jailed. Calvin Newson, who's 38 and from Hillington, was identified as one of the ringleaders of the operation, which supplied cocaine and cannabis. He's been sentenced to 13 years. 3 other accomplices have also been jailed after pleading guilty to drugs offences.
A controversial planning application for a huge DHL warehouse in a rural area of Northamptonshire will go to a council meeting next week. Councillors are being recommended to approve the plans in Towcester, despite more than 1,000 letters of objections submitted to West Northamptonshire Council.
Stansted Airport train station will soon get a new tap-in, tap-out system as part of government plans to overhaul the rail network. Thousands of people are fined at the airport every year for not having a ticket, mistakenly believing they can travel with an Oyster or contactless payment card. A further 44 stations will also get the new ticketing technology.
Now, Essex MP Priti Patel has become the first candidate to be knocked out of the Conservative leadership contest.
Yeah, Tory MPs voted this afternoon in the first round of the process to find a replacement for Rishi Sunak. 5 MPs, including North West Essex MP Kemi Badenoch, remain in the contest. Where else to go right now than Westminster? And our political correspondent Emma Hutchinson. Emma, good evening. Emma, well, a close-fought contest so far.
Yes, it is. Exactly 2 months today since the general election, another election is taking place here at Westminster, and that's the contest to be the next Conservative Party leader. Now, Rishi Sunak is currently in that role. He says he'll stay on as Conservative Party leader until a replacement is found. He said that after the general election, after that defeat for the Tories. And today, the process got well and truly underway with just the first round of voting. So Tory MPs voting on 6 candidates to decide which they like best. This is how it went. In first place with Conservative MPs today, Rob Jenrick, he got 28 votes. In second place, Kemi Badenoch, North West Essex MP with 22 votes. Then a fellow Essex MP, James Cleverly, got 21 votes. Tom Tugendhat, former Security Minister, 17 votes. Mel Stride, former Work and Pensions Secretary, 16 votes. And with just 14 votes, but not so far behind, Priti Patel, of course, another Essex MP, the Whittam MP, former Home Secretary, is now knocked out of this race. Now, the North West Essex MP Kemi Badenoch is currently, although she came second today, she's currently the bookies' favourite to win this race. And she's a former Trade Secretary. She's currently the Shadow Housing Secretary. And I spoke to one of her supporters, the new Huntingdon MP, today, and he says he thinks she's the best place to lead the Conservative Party, but he admits it's a very tight contest.
I think it's a good amount of support for Kemi. Obviously, we think we can do better. Hopefully, the eliminated candidate will obviously be, those votes are up for grabs. So it'll be keen to speak to other members and find out what their thoughts are in terms of the leadership going forwards. The contest is a lot closer than I think most people thought. So it's going to be interesting to see how that shakes out. I don't think the order was necessarily as people perhaps anticipated.
And Emma, this contest is set to go on for a while, isn't it?
Yes, it is. We don't find out who the new leader of the Conservative Party is until the 2nd of November. So before that, next week, Conservative MPs here will vote again to whittle that list down to 4 names. And then those 4 candidates will go to the Conservative Party conference. That's the end of this month. And they'll get a chance on the stage there to make their pitch to fellow Conservative MPs and also, of course, to Tory party members. And then they'll come back here to Westminster. MPs will vote again twice to whittle the list down to just 2 names. Those 2 names will be put to the party membership in a postal vote. And of course, very many Conservative Party members in our region in the east of England who will get a big say in this. They'll make the final decision, and then the new leader of the Conservative Party announced on Saturday, the 2nd of November.
Yep, quite a few weeks to go yet. Emma, as ever, thank you very much.
And thank you for joining David and me this evening. Here's what's still to come on the programme.
Yeah, reaching for the stars, we speak to Golden Girl Grace Harvey, whose new medal isn't her only recent major achievement.
We meet Cody, the autonomous space explorer. He might not make it to the stars, but he'll settle for Mars.
And some warm and humid weather on the way. I'll have all the details coming up shortly.
But next from us tonight, the campaign to better recognise the impact of having a baby on a dad's mental health.
1 in 10 men will be diagnosed with postnatal depression in the first year after having a baby. Yet often the resources and support groups are targeted at women.
It's led to calls for clinical guidelines to be updated to make sure that men also get screened for the condition, as Catherine Walker reports.
So the lowest point was when I was in the car and fully intended on taking my own life. Oh, and what's this?
With new responsibilities and sleepless nights, becoming a father can be challenging. But for some men like Luke, it can also trigger mental health problems.
I did all of those things. Yes, I changed his nappy and all that and fed him. But I did keep him a little bit at arm's length because I was scared that something horrible would happen to him, and I ended up shouting at my older 2 children over the minorest of things, and you'd be sat in bed that night thinking, why did I do that? And I wouldn't put my finger on that it was because I was upset or because I was depressed.
The latest figures show that 1 in 10 dads will be diagnosed with postnatal depression in the year after their baby is born. But many of the resources used to diagnose and treat the condition, including clinical guidelines, are targeted at women. In St Neots in Cambridgeshire, these dads say it's time there was more support for new fathers.
Sometimes the figure of the dad is not really taken in consideration when it comes to mental health, because people think that probably, oh yeah, I'm a man, why do I have to think about this?
Yeah, it can be tough for men. I think, I'm not saying women do obviously deserve the support as well, but I think sometimes men need maybe a few more months off work.
So Dan, tell us about the outreach this morning.
Some help is available through the services of non-profits like Dad Matters. They work with parents and professionals across the country to raise awareness of postpartum depression in men. But manager Kieran says there's only so much they can do without a national strategy.
I think routine screening would really help us to understand more about the bigger picture for dads and also the impact on their partners and their babies. I think one of the biggest issues is that dads feel like it's a woman-only issue, but we really do need to think more about having a whole approach across the country so that a dad who has a child under 2 can access the mental health support they need to be the dad that their baby needs.
My finger. Oh. Back home with his son, Luke is proof that the right diagnosis and treatment can help dads thrive. He now supports other men with postnatal depression and hopes eventually that all new parents will be screened for the condition. Catherine Walker, ITV News.
Well, in a statement, the Department of Health and Social Care said people with mental health issues are not getting the support or care they deserve, which is why we will fix the broken system to ensure we give mental health the same attention and focus as physical health. This will include improving the help available to women giving birth and their partners. And we will also recruit 8,500 more mental health workers to cut waits for treatment.
Well, to tell us more about some of the signs, symptoms and the support that's available for men with postnatal depression, we're joined by Dr. Livia Martucci from the Royal College of Psychiatrists. Dr. Martucci, tell us more about some of the symptoms of postnatal depression in men and also who is most at risk?
Postnatal depression for men might mean that a man might not feel that he's a good enough father or even a good enough partner if he's in a relationship, and it can be a terrible feeling to have. And while this can happen to any man and any father, there's some indication in the literature to show that new fathers may be more at risk.
And it is very much still seen as and treated as a female issue instead of just a new parent issue. Why is this, do you think?
The emphasis has been on mothers historically, and more recently also thinking of birthing parents, largely because of the major biological changes that pregnancy causes, and also because often it is the mother or the birthing parent that will be the primary caregiver. But as time has passed and more awareness has been raised on perinatal mental disorders, there's a greater understanding and recognition that these affect also fathers.
And the important message today, if anyone is watching and you think you might have it, or someone you know has it, is that there is something you can do about it, isn't it?
Absolutely, yes. So the most important thing to do is to not ignore it. If you think, or someone close to you thinks that you're not well, the first thing to do is to seek help. The first port of call can be your doctor, your GP, who can signpost you to psychological services in primary care who are very, very well established in dealing with depression and anxiety. If you already have a psychiatric service, go talk to them, because they can also modify their treatment plan, your treatment plan with them. So there are resources, there is help out there that can be accessed.
Dr. Martucci, thank you very much for your time today.
My pleasure.
Yeah, some good advice in there. It is a big change in one's life, whether you're the mum or the dad. There's so much going on.
Absolutely huge, and no one can prepare you for it either, so just get the help where you can find it.
And it can be a blur, can't it?
Yeah.
In those early
Always
days. It always is. And when they get older. Thanks for joining us tonight. The ITV Evening News follows us at 6:30 as ever. Here's Mary.
Coming up in the ITV Evening News, all 72 lives lost could have been avoided as the Grenfell inquiry comes to its devastating conclusion. The inquiry chair rules that for decades residents were failed at every turn. The British Gas customers have been sent hundreds of extra bills by mistake. And more success at the Paralympics, with Dame Sarah Storey bagging her 18th gold. Would you join me for those stories and more at 6:30?
Well, from gold winning to one designed to reach for the stars, the British-built space rover.
Yeah, it's quite the machine, built to explore Mars. The high-tech vehicle has been created by Airbus in Stevenage, but was undergoing field tests a little closer to home. Matthew Hudson, who else would do this better than Matthew Hudson, has boldly gone to find out about the quest to explore our final frontier.
Slowly, but very precisely, the sample fetch rover, Cody to its friends, shows what it can do, finding and safely storing samples on a mock-up of the surface of Mars. Technology which will allow us to leap from being able to see and record what's on the surface of the red planet or the moon to being able to interact with it, to pick up objects or drill down.
The technology that we're demonstrating here is very much building blocks that we can use for future exploration. So autonomously traversing hundreds of metres, locating object, picking object up is something that we'll be able to use for future missions, not only on Mars, but also the lunar surface.
The autonomous navigation system was devised by Airbus in Stevenage for use on a planned mission to Mars. We saw it put through its paces in 2022. It allows the rover vehicle to be programmed and then to think for itself, using mapping technology to decide its best and safest route to its destination. The new robotic arm can now pick up samples or carry out tests. Yvonne Pickering was among the engineers who helped develop it.
Everything to do with it has to be autonomous because it will eventually be working on Mars, and it's not really possible for us to be able to control it here due to the time lag between the information between Earth and Mars. So yeah, everything has to happen autonomously, including the driving there and then the pickup. So the robotic arm also is part of that. It has to be able to do all of this autonomously.
This footage shows just how slowly it operates. That's because the computer technology is far older than that in your smartphone. But it's also far more robust and capable of withstanding the intense heat and cold on Mars, as well as high levels of radiation. And in tests here over the last few days, it works.
Personally, I think we should be very excited, and I'm very excited myself, because being here and being able to demonstrate and do this test end-to-end mean that we have reached the maturity of a technology that we can do autonomous navigation and pickup on a hostile environment on another planet to the benefit of an exploration mission we may have.
One possible use for the sample-fetching rover could be the proposed Artemis space station orbiting the moon, collecting valuable data and samples for analysis a very long way from Stevenage. Matthew Hudson, ITV News, Reach in Bedfordshire.
You would have to have a huge amount of patience to work on that project, wouldn't you, knowing that it's something that's going to happen quite far into the future.
We're both watching it saying, wait for that wheel just to go over that one tiny rock. Just go, just get over there. You wouldn't want to get stuck behind it on the road, would you? Pretty slow. But amazing stuff. Right, sport now, and in football, the region's two Cambridgeshire League clubs were in EFL Trophy action last night. Peterborough United got their defence of the cup underway in Kent when they faced Gillingham. Posh ran out 2-1 winners thanks to a goal from Ricky J. Jones, and this stunner debut goal from Bradley Ionvian wrapping up the win. Look at that, very nice. The striker who joined on deadline day from Colchester United could feature in Posh's next game against Lincoln.
Well, Cambridge United are still searching for their first win of the season, despite scoring 3 goals in the clash with Bromley in the league trophy. The U's found themselves 2 down when Liam Bennett scored his goal for the first for the club just before half-time. Not to be outdone, Dan Barton scored his first for United shortly after the break. Emmanuel Longello hit a third with 20 minutes to go, only for the home side to score a last-minute equaliser, a goal Jack Stevens might want to forget. That took the tie to penalties, Bromley taking the extra point for winning the shootout.
Never satisfying on penalties, is it, really? Especially a loss. Right, to the Paralympics in Paris now, and Hertfordshire's Grace Harvey has been speaking about her medal-winning moment in Paris.
Yeah, this is incredible. The swimmer, who's from Ware, won the 100-metre SB5 breaststroke at the Games at the weekend. And she says the win, well, it hasn't quite sunk in yet.
Still kind of sinking in, to be honest. It's a moment that I never thought I would have. And I've worked and worked and worked to be the best version of myself, because you cannot control what other competitors are doing in the pool. And just in the final 6 metres, I was like, if you breathe now, you will regret that moment for the rest of your life. And to touch the wall, look up, it's just so shocking.
Imagine that, she's holding her breath, thinking, if I just keep onto this breath at a couple of milliseconds more and make it to the wall. Well, Grace actually marked her 26th birthday the day before her gold medal, but of course she said that wasn't a distraction, it couldn't be.
To be honest, I got up and went to training. I was quite tired after racing the 200 metres medley the day before, but I was like, right, you still got a job to do. I just need to get in and train to have my big race the next day. My parents sent me some e-cards and they made a little video like wishing me a happy birthday, which was really, really nice. But I'm looking forward to properly celebrating my birthday and my medal as soon as I get home with them.
It's going to be one big party, isn't it? How lovely. Well, successful summer's obviously something of a theme for Grace. Last year, she appeared in the blockbuster smash hit movie Barbie. I've seen this, I can't believe it.
I was in the Barbie movie, yeah. Tell me about this. Yeah, I was one of the 10 original Barbies in a really early scene. I played that Barbie and it was so cool. Like, I loved Barbie growing up. So when someone goes to you, do you want to be in the Barbie movie? That is not a question you say no to.
I'm going to have to rewatch it now.
I love it. I was in the Barbie movie. I was in the Barbie movie. Just one of those things that just happens. Isn't she brilliant? Well, look, not so much Barbie's world as Grace's. Many congratulations and enjoy the double celebration. 26th birthday and the win.
Yeah,
amazing.
Wonderful. Right, Ashes.
Hey, is that Barbie?
Oh, you might be in trouble.
Well, no, because it's... Have you seen the film? It's very empowering.
Yes, you're right.
Empowering. Meteorologist Barbie, thank you. I dodged the one there, didn't I?
Ash, you know, there was something, it just felt a little bit different today, like we've moved into a different season. Yeah. I know we have, but it's fresher.
There's something a little different about the light at the moment. It was a touch fresher today. I thought it was lovely though. This is the perfect temperature for me. It's been mostly dry where we are as well, so actually it was quite nice, but definitely did feel a little fresher. And the season is changing. These are the pictures that are coming in. What a fantastic shot. Just everything has a little tiny pace about it. It is meteorological autumn.
It is, isn't it?
Yes,
you get that kind of almost that
sense.
battle, don't you, at times, between summer trying to cling on, and then of course it is as we're easing into autumn.
It is one of those times though, people love change, so I love the spring change. Some people love the autumn change into something cooler, but the evenings are drawing in a little bit. Yeah.
But we've got some warmer weather on the way, haven't we?
Yes, we do. So yeah, we can expect the heat and humidity to suddenly just give a little pop over the next few days. And I just want to show you what's going on. Quite interesting with the jet stream, as we know, shows us where the air mass is to the colder air to the north, warmer air to the south. So here it is here, but just look at this little feature. It cuts off from the jet stream. This is called a cut-off upper low. Very, very interesting. And you notice that it's around France. Now, underneath that, down at the surface, that does a really good job of circulating all of that warm air there. So actually over the next couple of days, that's what we're going to get, some warm air off the continent, potentially as well some thundery downpours too, but there's lots of details in the forecast. Here you go.
Greater Anglia sponsors ITV Anglia Weather.
Yes, well, it was a lovely start this morning. There was a little bit of mist and fog around in a few places, but most of us woke up to a morning like this, blue sky, a little bit of cloud around and through today. Most of us got to see some good spells of sunshine. But as we head through the rest of tonight, there is the chance of 1 or 2 showers around. It's going to be quite warm and humid as well. The humidity is going to start to climb over the next few days. But at best, temperatures only dropping back to around 14 degrees Celsius. So certainly a warm start first thing tomorrow morning. Now, the best of sunshine for tomorrow is going to be through the morning. Into the afternoon, there is increasing amounts of cloud, and noticeably the breeze is going to pick up as well. Always the chance of a few showers, but that's mainly across southern areas. The further north you are, the more guaranteed dry weather you will have here. And although temperatures are around 20 degrees Celsius, the humidity is going to start to climb through tomorrow. Now, from Thursday into Friday, although there is a northerly breeze, most of our weather is coming in off the continent. There's a low pressure centre there, and it's spiralling around this weather front, and as it pushes northwards, it's introducing the chance of 1 or 2 thundery downpours. A little bit of a complicated forecast for Friday, but certainly the further north you are, the drier it's going to be, but there is always the chance of some thundery downpours. But at the moment, this is how we think it's looking. The best of the sunshine further north, cloud through the morning, slowly pushing northwards, and there's a chance of a thunderstorm popping off almost anywhere on Friday. Noticeably warmer, noticeably more humid as well, and widely temperatures getting up to around 25 degrees Celsius. It's possible it could reach 26 degrees in 1 or 2 spots. So the chance of a thunderstorm on Friday, that doesn't mean everybody's going to see one. There is a good deal of dry weather around, but certainly something to keep your eye on. The Met Office have got a yellow warning out for that. Highs of 26 degrees Celsius. And then as we head through Saturday, Sunday and through Monday as well, there's going to be some sunshine around, but always the chance of getting caught in a shower.
Greater Anglia sponsors ITV Anglia Weather.
So potentially a bit of thunder.
Yes, but heat for you, just for you.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so grateful. Thank you, Ash.
Have a lovely evening. We'll see you tomorrow.
Take care.